Hello guys, welcome back to day 24 of our 30 days React 0 to Hero series. And today we will be discussing about Context API. Let's get started. So in our last video, we saw whenever we want to send the data from parent component to last of the nested child component, we must pass the data from parent to first child, then to second child, then to last child, even though there is no necessity of that data in the middle components. So to resolve this issue, we use Context API. Let's see in our code. So to create our first context, I will create one folder. I will name it as a context. Inside this, I will create one user context .js file. In this file, I will create one constant, the user context, and I will use the create context method from the React. So as you can see, I am importing the create context method here. Now I will be creating one user provider function or a functional component, and it will act as a wrapper for our children components. Like this. I'll explain this later. Now I will be using one useState variable and I'll name it as a username. This will be the same username as we have created here only. I'll use the same name here also. Now I will return a JSX value. Like I'll be creating this user context provider. So this is just a naming convention. I'll be using this React context dot provider like this, and inside this I will pass the children component, whichever is coming from an arguments. Also I will be passing one value object to this context provider. So for this I will create one object, const data object equal to, and I'll pass these two things, username and set username. Actually it should be set username. Got it. And now I will pass this data object to the value like this. I'll now export this user context and user provider. Now let's go to our parent component. We don't need this state variable, so I will clear this. Also, we do not need to send this as a props. Only thing we need to do, we'll have to wrap this parent component with our user provider. So we can do that in our parent component also. So let's import this user provider, and I will wrap this in, and I have wrapped all of our code in this user provider. So whatever the data we are writing in between will go to this user context as a children, and that exact code will get rendered as a children in between this user provider. Now we don't need to pass the props to any of the component now. So I will remove everything from here, from child B as well, from child C as well. I'll delete the props, and finally from child D as well. So let's see on our front end. So our front end look like this because there is no username currently defined. So we will grab this data from our Context API. So we will go to our child A component first. Here we will use context hook from React. We also have imported up here, and inside this I will create the context name which we have created. So our context name is user context. So I will pass that here. I will import also. So I have imported here, and I will assign it to constant whatever we are passing here. Currently what we are passing value. So I will pass it like a value, and here I will update it as value.username. So let's see on our front end. So as you can see, child A, we are able to print the React user. Also we will do the same for our child B as well. I will copy this code directly. Also I will import this, and I will print the same value.username here also. Also directly for a child D also we will do the same. First of all I will import everything. Then from child B we will copy this, and in front of the child D I will print value.username. Let's see on our front end. So as you can see, child A, child B and child D are able to print the React user. We didn't do any prop drilling in the child C. So that's the main use case of React use context hook. We can avoid the unnecessary prop drilling, and this makes our code easy to read and more efficient. So I hope you understood the concept of React Context API. If you have any doubt, you can ask them in the comment section. I'll be happy to reply. And that's it for today's video guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.